Hey guys, welcome to my front door, and pardon the noise ahead of time because we have traffic and airplanes and lawnmowers going on in the background, but I think it is time for us to talk about another smart lock for your home. So if you're looking to upgrade your current deadbolt like this one to something more modern, simple, and low maintenance as well, I think I might have something for you right here. This, guys, is the Kwikset Halo Touch. It's a soon to be launched later in October, Wi-Fi and fingerprint enabled smart lock. And Kwikset was super nice to send me this unit so I can test this out and give you my opinions. And just because they gave me this unit doesn't mean I am swayed by them in any way. Just like all my other videos, these are all my own unbiased thoughts. So we're gonna install this right here, right now, and see how this works, and I'm gonna give you my opinions later on. Let's find out if this thing is legit or not after these messages. Let's do it. So before I proceed with the install on this really old door, I think it's from the 30s or 40s or something like that, I'm going to look at what's in the box to get my bearings a little bit. And right off the bat, I'm greeted by the inner module. This thing looks and feels really good. It's nice and solid metal. In this case, it's a satin nickel finish. It also comes in matte black as well, so two color options. And the design, this one is the classic model. I chose this because it better fits the older door. They also come with a more contemporary version, which is more angular. But anyways, this is a plastic cover, and I think is the only weak spot of this module, because right here there's already a scratch just from shipping. So, you know, it is what it is. Kwikset logo, LED light, and there's a twist knob right here. And if you pop this open, you have access to the battery compartment, and this accepts 4 AA batteries, which is nice, which is also included in the box, by the way. And here are some programming buttons right there. Inside the box, you also find the front-facing module, which is right here with the fingerprint sensor and the backup key slot right there. At the top is the LED strip, which tells you whether it's unlocking or locking or if there's an error. I think it looks good, doesn't it, on this older door? It looks pretty nice. In the box also has Kwikset includes, just like a lot of smart locks, includes all kinds of accessories, mounting screws and such to make sure you get a good fit. They even come with a drilling template, so if you're doing this for the first time on a new door, it's all there. They have all your usual strikers and tumblers and all that kind of stuff. And what's also included is a couple of spare keys and the smart key system that is proprietary to Kwikset. So basically, if you have Kwikset locks all around your house, you can program it all to accept just one key, which is pretty darn awesome. And if you lose the key, you can reprogram it all yourself, which is really nice. So that's really all it is in the box, nice and simple. And supposedly Kwikset says that all you need is one of these, a screwdriver, and a few minutes to install this. So we'll find out how quick this one is. And oh, by the way, in terms of security, this thing is rated at AAA, grade AAA, based on ANSI and BHMA, whatever they stand for, grading system. And in terms of security, durability, and finish, these guys are supposed to withstand a lot. So we're gonna test this out and install it and see how this goes. Anyways, let's do it. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at the Kwikset app, and this is really your primary interface in operating the lock and setting it up in the first place. So I recommend anyone in your household to install this. Sure, you can assign this to people and everyone can use the lock via your centralized account, but if you want your spouse to control it, I suggest they also have an account of their own. Now, this is the main screen. It's very bare bones, no colors whatsoever really, aside from the graphic right in the middle that shows you at a glance, really quick glance, whether the lock is unlocked or locked or jammed or whatever. So I like this kind of thing. It's simple, but a little bit more color would be nice. It looks kind of like an afterthought. But the app on the top left here, the burger button, it's really where you can set up the name of your home, your door, and really manage the app settings. The top right here is where you add different locks. And at the top in the middle, you see the Leongs, which is the house name, and also front door. Both of these are customizable when you set this up, of course. And right between those is the connection status. There's Wi-Fi, which your lock is connected to operate. And Bluetooth is the interface between your phone and the lock. And of course, the next one over is the battery life for the lock itself. So when I tap on the middle icon, it locks it or unlocks it. In this case, you can probably hear the lock unlocking. Now, at the bottom of the screen, you find 3 different icons. We're going to look at people first. And by the way, if you tap on the text, it's not going to register the touch at all. You have to tap on the icon, which is kind of pathetic. So something to bear in mind, and maybe Kwikset, you can fix this in another update of the app. So if we look at people, here's where you can set different people up. You have a cap of 50 people, and each one is allowed only 2 fingerprints. I'm going to talk about this later on in the show, but I wish there was more bigger ability for more fingerprints per person. You can also disable fingerprints altogether, change the name, and particularly friendly for Airbnb or rental folks is you can limit the person to by weekday and time or by date, so when they check in and check out is when the lock or the fingerprints become obsolete. Which is really nice. Now, that's people. You can turn on and off fingerprint mode or sensor altogether and require people to use the key. Okay, back at the home screen, we're going to look at settings. I'm going to skip past history because that's pretty self-explanatory. Here at the top, you can change the front door name as well as also turn on auto lock. Auto lock you can change from 30 seconds to 10 minutes. So there's some customization. You can turn on and off the lock sounds and LED status light as well. LED status light will just keep blinking on and off, and of course that will set battery, so to bear that in mind. But some of you like to know whether it's working or not. You can also unlock it with Google Assistant in this case because it registers that this is a Google Pixel. But you can set it up with whatever account so you can operate it by voice. The downside to operating it by voice in this case, you still have to use or call out a PIN number every time you need to lock the door. You can unlock it by voice easily, but locking it requires a PIN number. And I think that's a security flaw because every time you yell out the code, people can hear it. If you have multiple Kwikset locks at the bottom here, you can identify the lock. So really, this is the app in a gist, and it's really basic, nothing to shout about, but it's quite easy to operate for most people. So guys, if you haven't heard already, I am trying to get to 5,000 subs, and only you can get me there. If you haven't already, then please consider subscribing down below and turning on the bell notification icon. So thank you in advance for your help, and get me to 5,000. Back to the program. Alright guys, now let's talk about some of the positives of the Halo Touch. And mind you, I'm going to be comparing this with the Yale Assure Lock by August that I reviewed about a year ago, and actually I still have it installed on my main door. That's our primary lock. And I know I mentioned that the Halo Touch is installed in my front door. It's not my main door, but the front door is where the Halo Touch is, and the Assure by August is on my main door. It's confusing a little bit, but that's my benchmark, and they're priced around the same, so we're gonna do it that way. But anyways, the first positive is I really like how the Halo Touch is simple and it just works like a charm that way. If you want something that's not complicated, but you want a smart lock anyway, I think this would be it. And because of the same simplicity, as you saw a second ago, the installation is so easy, setup is so quick. And I have a guess that when you do have power outages and such like that, or if you just need to replace your battery or you need to do a full reset, this thing is really easy to set up. You don't have to worry like the Assure Lock. I have the module and the door sensor and everything to pair whenever there's a power outage. I have to make sure that they're all in sync. So that's one less or few less things to worry about on the Halo Touch. Another thing that I really like is how small and discreet the front-facing module is. All you have is that fingerprint sensor and the additional key slot. In the Yale Assure, we had that hunka-chunka keypad and the key slot and everything, and we chose that because it's an additional point of entry and just has an additional security feature in that sense. But with the Halo Touch, I like how small and compact it is. From far off, you can't even tell you have a smart lock. And if you have an antique or really nice door, you don't want something distracting from it. And with the Halo Touch, it's just a nice little accent, and I really like that design because of it. Now, earlier I mentioned in passing that this lock has physical keys, and some of you may not care for it. You just might prefer your keypads, your sensors, and your geofencing and be done with it. And some of you might think that also having a physical key is a security risk. It's pickable and all that kind of stuff, so it's a weak point of your smart lock. And we're going to talk about that more in a second. Now, the reason why I do like physical keys, it's an additional mode of entry. Say if you run out of power or if you've gone extended amount of time away from your house and the battery dies, what are you gonna do? You have an additional key hiding somewhere or in yourself, which is really nice. Or if you accidentally burn both of your hands and they're both bandaged, by accidentally touching the grill, grilling steaks or something, you have a key. Now, also because the Halo Touch has a maximum of 50 digital accounts that you can set up. So once you've assigned it to all your visitors and friends and family, and also your UPS guy and your Airbnb folks, it's nice to have a backup of a key. In terms of security, because Kwikset used their smart key system, their tumbler and their cylinder system is not pickable. It's been tested that you cannot pick it, rake it, bang it, and drill it because of that great AAA stuff that they throw in there. And it's really nice. So I feel confident using this in the front door of my house and not worry about it being burglarized. Alright guys, now it's time to talk about the negatives, because as we all know, nothing is perfect, except for my wife. But my first issue with the Halo Touch is the fingerprint sensor angle, and some of you may not care for it or worry about it, but because I'm a huge ergonomics guy, it's an issue for me. Now, the sensor itself is vertical, so it's fine with the thumb itself, but any other fingers, if you have a stiff joint, it's gonna be an issue. I had the same problem with the Yale Assure about 1.5 years ago, and it has a flat vertical keypad, and that's pretty common with most smart locks with touch surfaces. The only one that I really liked was the Schlage Encode that had like a 5 or 10 degree angle to it, and it was really comfortable for people who had arthritis or stiff joints, and it's just more friendly to the hand. So that's a little something I want to point out. If you have joint issues, this might be a turnoff. And speaking of fingerprints, as we saw in the app walkthrough earlier, the software only allows you to program 2 fingerprints per person, which is very limiting. It would be nice to see multiple fingers per hand, kind of like on our phones, being programmable, or at the very least 2 fingers per hand. I would be happy. So Kwikset, if you're listening to this, upgrade this in a firmware update or something like that and just get it done. My last negative about the Halo Touch, and this is a big one guys, is it retails for $250. Let that sink in for a second. $250, no matter where you get it, Amazon, Lowe's, Home Depot, it's priced the same, and that's just ridiculously high because let's not forget, the Halo Touch is a simple, albeit brand new, simple basic smart lock. It shouldn't cost this much. Even the Yale Assure that I have, it costs $215, and that's still rated one of the best smart locks out there with everything, almost everything under the sun. The August volume knob smart lock, it costs around $200 or just under $200 thereabouts. So to be competitive, I think Kwikset needs to drop the price. But that being said, this is being launched in October or thereabouts, and it's really close to Thanksgiving and Christmas, so I think it would be wise that Kwikset drops the price drastically so to be competitive in this arena. But otherwise, I have a hard time recommending it at this current price. So here are my final thoughts guys, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and score this first. So I give the Kwikset Halo Touch a GearUP score of 7.5 out of 10. Why so high? Because I think this product itself, this smart lock, is really good for what it is, hampered by a high price. So if you're looking for a smart lock that is a no-brainer, that's simple to use and set up, and has Kwikset's high security cache, and has the ease of fingerprint and key entry, I think this would be perfect for you, as long as you find the right price for it. Well, there you have it guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode on the Halo Touch. And again, thank you Kwikset for sending me this unit and trusting me enough to make an early review on this one. Please come back next Friday guys for a new episode. I know I kind of skipped out last week because I was spending time with family, but next week we're going to be looking at this guy, a smartwatch from Samsung. I've been testing this for a couple of weeks now. It's going to be super awesome, so come back and hear my thoughts on it and watch a lot of nice B-rolls on it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel. Mash and kill that button. It'll help me bring you more content like this to watch and to get me to 5,000 subs. And also you can visit my Patreon page down here. You can buy me a cup of coffee and tea or something like that. That would be super nice. And remember to thumbs up if you like this video. Yeah, it's your civil duty and YouTube law. Thumbs up if you like this video and comment nicely down below. And thumbs down. Thumbs down to cheap sound baffles from Amazon. These guys don't work. They sound fine when you're up close. They really kill the sound. But when you pepper this around a big room, for example, they just don't work. So it's a huge waste of money. What a waste of $3.95. What, do I look like I'm made of money or something? So thumbs down to cheap sound baffles. Anyways, that's all I got, guys. I hope you have a great weekend, by the way. And remember to do something nice and loving and kind for somebody. And remember to mask up as well. I'll see you in the next episode, guys. I love y'all very much. And take care and God bless. Peace out.